that's been good, and Higgins as well has shown why he was a first-round pick.
Yeah, very positive. Now, Highmore, the lad you've picked up from South Adelaide, are we likely to get a look at him in the second half?
Yeah, he'll definitely come on. For all, he's probably going to play another quarter/half a quarter. And then Highmore will come on, and we're looking forward to seeing what he can do because he's been great for us.
So we're back underway and the scramble is on. The boys keen to get physical after a break. St Kilda 12-6-78, North Melbourne 3-5-23. And we're still inside the first minute of the second half. Trent Dumont has taken his place again. Great to have you. Trent, some areas of improvement for the Roos as they get a long ball inside 50. There might be a hold there too to big Nick Larkey, and big Silver Larkey's likely to kick the first goal of the second half for the Roos.
Yeah, I was able to get out and enjoy some sun there, and I felt like when I was watching the game that we probably just need to be a little bit calmer with the ball. We're obviously trying to do the right thing, but we're just trying to do it way too fast, and sometimes it's just not there. So just cool down a little bit, take our time, and be able to move forward. But yeah, as said before, we looked a little bit better around stoppages in that second quarter, so it was good. Now
the Silva has mucked that up. He's had a bad miss from just 20 metres out. So minor score to North there, 3-6-24. St Kilda 12-6-78 as we're back out on centre wing. And it's a few bodies flying around here. Long ball up towards Butler, who can handball to Higgins, who's been good all day. How does he use this one? He's got Membry out in yardage, and he hits him nicely. And Membry will, well, I reckon that's beyond him. He wants to wheel round, and he sets this one up for Winks, King and Carr. When Paddy Ryder floats in and takes a ripper and doesn't muck around, he bangs that through. And lady, that would put a smile on your face. A big fella pushing forward.
It'd be good if I could have seen that. But no, it was that was great from Paddy, obviously. He's been working on his running, so we know his ruck work's probably one of the best still in the competition, and for him to impact the game in other ways, so it is up forward or down back, that's been great, so well done to Paddy there.
It was a genuine contested grab right on the line. He had a pretty serious hamstring injury late last year. He's obviously shaken it well and put in some serious miles on the track.
Yeah, he's recovered really well. Our rehab staff have done a great job with him. You know, he's nearly 40 years old now, so he's he's doing really well to get back, and he's covering the ground quite well.
Game style, lady, any changes, or is it more just organic growth this year? You're proven contenders now. It's just small gains. Is that the approach to this season?
Yeah, it's a lot of more of the same for us, with our attack especially, and a few other little areas. If we can keep tidying up a few things, we'll be a pretty hard team to play against, and that's what we're after. So, we use the ball quite well as a team. Hopefully we can keep doing that because we've got a few new players who've really added some punch to our group, and we've still got people like Jones and Hanbury to come back in, which is exciting for us, and Gresham and Marshall, sorry.
Indeed, great to have you. We'll let you go, lady, after this ball from Joshy Battle. Can you see it? You want to call it for us?
I can probably go now because you probably put it down. He doesn't normally miss many goals, so there's the Moz for you.
There you go.
See you, Nick.
He's got to boot it from 52. It's not going to be a goal. Ladies departing. Thank you, mate.
Oh.
It gets forced through for a minor score. Great to have some insight from the St Kilda assistant coach. And Saints fans, we will have the co-skipper join us pretty soon as well, Jaron Geary. Chris, I understand there's a bit of a live text option too for you mad Sainers as well to get involved, and we can get some questions to the co-captain.
Absolutely. Make sure you jump on our Twitter feed at St Kilda FC, fire in some questions, and we'll be answering a couple of those to the skipper when he comes in the next couple of minutes, so it should be very exciting there.
So here go the Roos. Little handball from Power was okay to Kane Turner, who kicks a wobbling banana on the head of Zerha, who did really well. He's a brave player, Zerha. And he's going to line up from every bit of 45 metres on a 45-degree angle. Chances, Trent Dumont, could he kick this?
History tells me that he would, although last week he's had a pretty poor kicking day.
What, he had about 3-5 or something last week?
Yeah, he had about 10 shots on goal, which is, he's done the first part. If he can bring the second part, which hopefully he can.
Here he
slot
is,
this
the
through.
ball. No, he's given that a tug.
Unfortunately, he couldn't.
Come on, ball.
Yeah, and he's just shown a bit of frustration there. Usually he doesn't give away too much after a miss. So, he's obviously getting to him a bit.
Got the loud boots on too, the old Dermy Brereton yellows. They look pretty good, I must say. I don't mind it. The youth expressing themselves with the bright boots. North Melbourne 3-7-25 here. St Kilda 13-7-85. Bit one-sided, but a really enjoyable game of footy. Great conditions here at Arden Street. Perfect deck as the Roos are just waxing this round and mucking around with it at half forward. Robbie Tarrant kicks a long ball. It's high! Tried to take the mark of the day and almost impaled himself. He's back up and at it though, and he's going to get this back. And now maybe a snap from the raging bull. Doesn't quite get there. Forced through by Dougal Howard. Another minus score to the Roos. But he can come at the footy, Trent. I don't mind him as a forward, as an impartial watcher.
Yeah, he's an explosive player, Zer. He's aggressive. He's got the attitude. His boots are loud, and so is he. And he's a wicked player for us. He's sort of, I guess, if you're looking to compare him to someone, is that the goalie sort of ilk.
Yes, he is.
Real powerful. Yeah, great to have deep as a forward.
Now, Max King's won a free kick there, but it's quickly picked up by Loney, who can head up towards Wood, who's found some space and held on to another mark. So Wood will line up for goal number 3, which is a very nice start to his career as a Saint. As I say this, we're thrilled to have the Saints co-skippers join us. Jaron, great to have you. I'll ask you about, we'll get an injury update shortly as Wood trots in, and I'll tell you what, he's got a beautiful kicking action. He makes light work of that and gets number 3, and the Saints get number 14, and they're leading easily, 14-7 to 3-8. Giz, great to have you. How's the body tracking?
Yeah, thanks for having me firstly. No, it's going well. Out of the boot now for a couple of days, which is nice, so I can walk around and try and get some definition back into my left calf, which is dwindled away to not much. So it's good to be back out of the boot and really enjoying the footy today and watching the boys who are performing really strongly.
What's the time frame?
I'm hoping to sort of run probably in another couple of weeks, so probably rules me out probably until at least around 3 or 4.
Okay.
So yeah, still a bit of time, but it's going to be a tough side to break into, so I have to be performed pretty strongly to get back in the side in the early rounds of the season.
You'll be right. And can you clear up the rumour? Was it Mark of the Year you went up for? How high did you get?
Yeah, it was a huge grab. I haven't taken one of them for a while. It was teaming down with rain, and I stood on Tommy Highmore's shoulders, actually one of the new boys, and actually managed to pull the mark down, but landed really awkwardly, and obviously heard the break and straight off and to hospital, so it wasn't ideal.
There's a nice leap by Curtis Taylor. He landed okay, though. That gives it to Kyron Hayden. The Roos with a little bit more pluck about them in the start of this second half. They're under the cosh here, though. It's nice and competitive. That frees up Aaron Hall, who can waltz in, and that's a nice-looking shot. And Hall kicks a goal for the Roos. And there is a bit more pep in their step. They get number 4. They'll be 4-8, trailing St Kilda 14-7, and we're 8 minutes into the third term. Giz, you must be pretty happy with some of the new stock we're seeing today. B. Crouch, well, we know what he does. He certainly had a nice start. Can you just run through some of the new players and your take on them as skipper?
Yeah, I mean, firstly, Crouch, he's obviously an accomplished player. He's obviously going to miss the first couple of rounds, so it's important for him to have a strong hit out this week and next week, because he's going to miss the first couple of rounds. And obviously Jack Higgins has performed strongly today, and another quality player. I think Mason Wood would have liked to perform strongly against his old team, even though it's a practice match, and he's had a few opportunities today to do that. And then our latest addition, Paulie Hunter, comes across from Adelaide, and he's been jumping pretty well in the ruck. So a week ago he wasn't on a list, and then today he's playing a practice match in our colours. So they're really exciting. They're all fitted in really well. I've probably missed. And Tommy Highmore, he'll get an opportunity in the second half too. I'm not sure if he's out there yet, but he's certainly on the bench now. So when he gets an opportunity, he's a really solid player and plays a bit like Cal Wilkie, which is unfortunate for him. No, Cal's obviously a good player, but So they're all fitted in really well, and they're all probably ready to go, to be honest. So if they have an opportunity, they'll grab it with both hands. Yeah, the depth seems really good at the club at the moment. When you're blooding, I mean, Highmore's 21, 22, ready to go. You've done well out of drafting those sample defenders, haven't you? Yeah, we certainly have. And to be honest, we probably need our depth at the moment. We've copped a little bit of a barrage or a little bit of run of injuries over the last couple of weeks. So, but that just gives these guys a bit of an opportunity to perform strongly. And They've done, a few of them have done that today, and it'll make Rats' job a little bit harder going into the final practice match next week and then into round 1.
Yeah, Chris, while we've got the Saints co-captain, we're going to open things up to the Saints family a bit. There's a bit of a Twitter call out for some questions to Gears, I understand.
Absolutely, live Twitter feed sort of going. So if you want to jump in, got a question for Gears, definitely jump in. We'll try and get through as many as we can. Gears, I guess, sort of ties into before, but we've been hit a little bit by injury. But what's the vibe among the boys as the competition for spots heats up? That one's from RJ.
Oh yeah, I mean it's been really, really strong. I think our training's had to reflect that, because the boys know that they have a down day, they put a bit of pressure on themselves. So that's always healthy. The fans and members would be rapt that we've got so many guys putting their hand up to play in the early rounds of the season, and we missed the fans last year, and clearly we want them to come to the game this year, and I don't think they're going to be able to get there unless they join up and be members. So hopefully we get as many members join up this year and come along, because we obviously missed playing in front of crowds last year, and we love our fans to outnumber the opposition this year.
As Joshy Battle turns crummer and kicks another goal, he's looking very, very handy as a forward. I know he's been tried back, but he looks a natural forward to me. He's kicked his third. And Gears competition for spots as a big man in that forward line is going to be pretty red hot too. There's a few blokes that can mark above their head all of a sudden.
Oh yeah, there certainly is. Obviously Big Maxi's down there, and Timmy Memory can take a good clunk, and Mason showed his ability up there today. And there's only a couple of utilities at the club, Bats and myself, so they can play forward and back. So they're Bats is he can sort of play anywhere for us, which is really good, and he might pinch in the ruck at times as well. So it's always good to have those guys that can fill different positions.
Can we get a word on Chip Frawley? I wouldn't say it raised eyebrows, but a lot of people thought maybe he might have been done, and he's had a great career as a premiership player, maybe wander off into the sunset. But the word was he was mad keen to keep going, and he's played like it today. We're only February, and he's played like a big, strong defender should.
Yeah, I mean, he was probably fortunate enough.
There he is again.
He was in Noosa when he wrapped up and stayed around the State Arena, so we had a little bit to do with him straight after the season, and I was probably surprised at the nick he turned up in, to be honest. He turned up in Super Nick, so he clearly had an eye on coming back in and playing AFL footy still, and he's still as hungry as ever. So I've known him for a while. He's a good bloke, and he's a good player to have on your list. And like I said, he's hungry and probably has a little bit of a point to prove that he's still got a bit of footy left in him.
Now Billings with the footy wants to go long inside 50. That one just misses the target. Lockie Young for the Roos takes it over. As we continue on with Jaron Geary and Trent Dumont, and we've got a bit more Twitter action, Chris, do we?
Yeah, another question for you, Gears, from one end of the spectrum in terms of experience from Chip to our young blokes. This one's from Aniket. Which young Saints should we keep our eyes on this season?
I think we've got a few good young blokes that are coming through. I think Jack Vitale started really strong today, had a taste of it last year, obviously, and Burnsy, who's injured, would have probably played more senior footy this year. So they're ones that'll continue to develop and hopefully get some footy this year, some more footy this year. Oscar Clavarino hasn't managed to play a game. He's a developing key back who will be looking for an opportunity this year, and I'm sure if he gets his opportunity, he'll go with both hands. So there's a number of young guys. It's going to be tough to break into the team, we hope, and those guys will have to play really well to get an opportunity. But when they do, I'm confident that they'll play some good footy for us for the future.
Now that was a nice bit of play by the Roos. It all started, Luke McDonald dashed off half back, Stevenson got involved, Taron Thomas was involved as well, and a nice bit of attacking speed on the ball footy, Trent. That's the sort of stuff David Noble's been talking about.
Yeah, we really want to get our ball movement going through that corridor there, and obviously we brought the ball out, and Elmac was able to run the lines, and that was a beautiful kick to Charlie Lazaro up forward. So there's a bit of a Lukey McDonald play there. He's done well.
That's good. I mean, is that the sort of stuff? I popped down and had a look at training on the early in the week, and I found it really refreshing. It seemed nice and basic and no frills. A lot of fundamentals of the game being practiced. I loved watching Gavin Brown clobbering blokes on the head with that pull toy thing, practicing courage. I thought it was really good as a footy purist to watch it. As far as your pattern of play ball movement, is this the stuff now, getting out and moving the ball quickly, and we can look forward to seeing that? Because we haven't seen a lot of that from Roos teams in the last few years.
Nah, it's definitely been a massive change in our philosophies to attack the game and play a much more exciting brand of football. And you're going to see a few mistakes, and we have seen that today, where we're trying to bring the ball through the corridor and maybe trying to do it a little bit too much, or too urgently. But there you go. There's one right there. But
trying to bite off a little bit more. But it was a brave kick. He's just said it's been chopped off by Mason Wood. I get a risk and reward, isn't it, with your ball movement? Poor old Benny Brown, I don't think got many great looks last year. Mate, hopefully Nick Larkey and Zerha and these guys might get a bit more fast ball, as we've got a long, deep, penetrating entry forward. It's nicely cut off by Robbie Tarrant, though, who never plays a bad game.
That's the aim of it, we actually want to give our forwards a better look.
Here we go, up the corridor.
Bring the corridor.
Curtis Taylor.
Corridor, we give a bit of space out the back, we should be right.
Yeah, don't muck around with it at half forward, swing it in there. There's Aaron Hall. That's a bit of a high moon ball. It's going to take a bit of courage. Dom Tyson did stand under it, but the Saints defenders were quickly there. We got a whistle, and is that young Tommy Highmore on?
Yes, it is.
I reckon it was an early touch for the man that he's a renowned intercept marker out of South Adelaide. They reckon he just will go for it in the air and rarely drops them. So a Wilkie clone is the scout report, and they reckon a really good fella too, Gears, as well. I was chatting with Tony Brown today. Said that he's come in so grateful to have an opportunity at league footy. He's got a degree underway. He can't believe the lifestyle, being paid to recover, being paid to train it. That must be refreshing.
Yeah, he's a ripper, to be honest. I haven't had, I don't have a bad word to say about him. He's bloody very courageous too, and that's probably one thing he's got up on Wilkes. He's no, I'm just
it's
joking.
a sledge.
No, I'm just joking. Cal will be the first to sledge me. So, no, he's really courageous, probably to his own detriment already at the footy club. But, yeah, he's a ripper. He's a humble guy, and he's come in straight away and really fitted in with the group, and spent a few weeks with Jack Billings and Ben Patton when he moved over here, but I think they've booted him out now.
Yeah, good looking rooster too. He's for a tough bloke. He's got the pretty face, but if he's going to keep going back with the flight, he's going to have to wear a stitch or two. But that's part of the game, I think, when you play that intercept role. So they found another one. Great recruiting. As Taron Thomas trots in, this will test him. Trent, that's a nice connection though. It's he was given it every chance and bashed it into the netting behind the goals, but just pushed it right. So a minus score to the Roos. They're now 5-9. St Kilda 15-7. And we've got more questions coming for the St Kilda skipper.
We do. A question on everyone's tongues. Is Hunter Clark going to spend much time in the midfield this year? This one from Callum.
Yeah, I think that's certainly the hope for Hunt. He's in traffic, he's as good as anyone. His evasive skills and agility is really strong. I think that the aim for a lot of our guys is to try and play multiple positions this year, and we think our midfield depth is really strong, but at times there's going to be too many of them, so they're going to have to be able to fill and play different roles for the footy club. So Hunt will hopefully spend a bit more time there, but I'm sure he'll still spend a bit of time at half-back and maybe through the forward line as well. Absolutely.
Question still flying in on Twitter. Giz, can you touch a little bit about that versatility? Obviously, yourself last year were playing roles as a defensive forward, seeing a lot of more Saints this season, especially the midfielders trying to upskill their game and being able to play in multiple positions around the ground.
Yeah, I think it's just a byproduct of the amount of talent we've got in the door over the last couple of years, through the trade, and those guys are established midfielders like Crouch, Jones, Hanbury, Hill. You add them to the Billings and Ross and Hunter Clark and Nick Caulfield, and that's you can only fit so many in the midfield, so they've got to learn to play other roles and be able to have an impact in different positions. So we feel like we've got a lot of midfield depth, but they need to be able to play multiple roles to really be an asset to the team.
Bit of a flying shot there from Aaron Hall. North Melbourne 5-10-40, St Kilda 15-7-97, 19 minutes into the third term, as Benny Long skips away with the footy and kicks a bit of an ugly looking floater. cut off by Tommy Campbell for the Roos, who you'd think would go long, and he does. Good fist by Frawley. That's old-fashioned footy. Just broke it up in the air and thumped it to the line. He's no frills chip, isn't he? He just understands, pretty physical on the track and doesn't even mind the occasional old-fashioned spray if it's constructive.
Yeah, he's a bit like his late uncle Danny Frawley. He's quite loud and vocal and doesn't mind putting his elbow in the back of your head and going for a spoil. So we don't mind that. And I'm sure his uncle would have enjoyed watching him in the Saints colours do that.
I reckon he'd love it. And a bit of a old Spud Frawley about the Saints jumpers today. They look very early 90s. It won't be, I'm sure, Larko and those, the commercial team will have a sponsor on there before too long, but I must say it looks great. The black, it's a real Saints look. The traditional strip's fantastic. Don't muck around with that.
We love the Saints jumper, and New Balance have come on board this year and produced some real good apparel for us, and we'll be hoping to fill the back of that jumper. So if there's anyone who wants to jump on board, then feel free to contact the club.
Absolutely.
Speaking of jumpers, Gears, there's one up for grabs, signed by yourself and Steely. Can you chat a little bit about that?
Yes, obviously new co-captains this year in Steely and myself, and got our hands on a jumper yesterday and put some signatures on it. So it'd be a good one to get a hold of, because I'm sure Steely at the end of his career is going to have plenty of accolades, and you can look at mine if you want, but Steely's the one that adds the most value to it. So, no, it's I think the opportunity to win it by having a competition through this stream. So there's a link that's available on the live stream page, so click on that and see how you can go in the draw to win that one.
Yes, get involved, as the Roos just had another firing shot in the minor score. They're 41, St Kilda 97. As Bradley Hill, he's won some footy today. Gears, watching his tapes last year, there was no lack of effort. Averaged about the 15 touches. I can see with these quarters getting longer, that'll be up over 20. It'd be a dream to lead to, I reckon. He breaks out into space, and every kick's a beautiful drop punt.
Yeah, he's a beautiful kick, Illy, and yeah, you're right. His running abilities, second to none. He's probably he's one of the best runners in the comp, and the shorter quarters probably didn't suit him last year, and we'd be hoping that he'd get more of the ball, but a few times he got burnt by his teammates too, so it's probably us getting used to playing with someone of his ability a little bit and using him when he's in those positions.
There he is again, and he finds Bytel, who's shaken off the finger injury, and a long ball up towards Membry. Good strong contest, and crumb by King, if you don't mind. He's about 7'5", and he's crumbing. They're on here, the Saints. Wood can use Jack Billings, and Billings will mark from pretty much point-blank range. Frightening to think a man close to 7 foot tall can get a front and centre crumb like that, but he's a pretty special talent. It must be exciting to see him come on, Giz.
Yeah, no, he's a big man and has a big presence, and I think last year he was actually our number one ground ball player in the forward half, but I think at some stage he's going to hold on to those marks that in that instance, and he's sort of crumbing the balls that he spills a little bit at the moment. So going forward, I'm sure he's going to clunk a few more of them and cause all sorts of headaches for the opposition.
Pretty important membership push on for all clubs at the moment. They've never been more valuable to footy clubs, with finances being so tight. Can you give us a bit of a sales pitch about what fans can expect this year? I guess off the field, you guys are always a class act, but on the field, what sort of footy are you hoping to see, and give us some goals and aspirations?
Yeah, I think firstly, I want to thank all the members that stuck by us last year in such a difficult situation for everyone. It was amazing to have a record number of members, and we'd love to go better this year and get as many Saints fans on board. Like I said earlier, I don't think you're going to be able to get to go to many games if you're not a member, so that's reason enough, because I think we're going to play some pretty attractive footy, and the aim internally is to have a lot of pressure on ourselves to obviously improve, and if we do that, then we'll have a pretty good year. So hopefully we can get as many members as we can. We love our fans, and if you want to join, you can either email saintsmembership.com.au or call 1300 467 246.
Very nice pitch, and nicely articulated. We've got a bit of rough stuff going on here, which we don't mind to see. Jai Simpkin was involved with young Bytel, he wasn't backward in coming forward. We like seeing that from a midfielder, and he's quickly on with it too. He's got Mason Wood out the back, who might get a jump at this. He couldn't. Lost his footing. Bailey Scott's there for the ruse, and he can clean up and head to Walker. They still want to go up the middle, Trent, don't they? It's a bit dodgy at times. Maybe that one could have been safely down the line, but you can see what David Noble's trying to get you to do. If you're going to get those good looks as a forward, it has to come in at some stage.
Yeah, it's just looked like today we've had a few too many numbers actually holding in the corridor. There we needed, I think, young Powley to get outside the contest, get out to the wing, and then that would have opened up the corridor for us to come through. And then also the ball carrier just rushing a little bit there, Josh Walker. So just a few little parts of the game that we need to fine-tune to allow that corridor movement to happen more regularly. Otherwise, we're going to have the ball going back over our head a fair bit.
Yeah, during that discussion, there was a quick little snap. I was actually looking at the scoreboard. Who wants to fill me in there? Was that Tim Membry again?
I think that was Membry again.
No, that was Brad Crouch.
Brad Crouch grabbed the... how's he been? Would he have been strong in the early part, Trent, when things weren't going too well?
In regards to the game?
Today, yeah.
Yeah.
Calm and measured as we believe is his manner, or was there be any sort of fireworks when things are a bit ordinary in the first quarter and a half?
Oh, well, I think the first thing we know is he's very strong on what he wants, so he'll be disappointed with the way we're going. I wouldn't imagine he'd be too happy with the way we've been defending today. Like, obviously, we've had a lot of mistakes with ball in hand. But some of our defending hasn't been up to scratch all over the field. So we'll go back to the drawing board and review that during the week, and we'll make some changes. But credit to the Saints as well. They've been awesome, and the way they've defended has actually been really impressive. So the opposition's been really good.
Jack Loney's got on the end of one here, and he received a bit of treatment after the fact, so he's going to get taken right to the line and kick another goal. He's had a pretty impressive day. Loney, one of the small forwards, a few of them that have had a bit of an impact, so he pops through another goal. And the Saints get their 18th. They're now 18-7, leading North Melbourne 5-11.
And that 50, like that's just not really good enough at all for our side. And we talk about, Blake's talks about not giving away free kicks as defenders. That's one of their focuses, and yeah, we haven't done that well enough today. So that's a freebie versus a shot from 45.
Yeah, I reckon I heard the desk get belted. The North coaches are just to the left of us here, about 10 metres, and we haven't heard too many Ray's voices, but yeah, they're the ones that'll kill you. And Dave Noble will want to just minimise those. You don't need to be giving away freebies when players should be shooting from 45 metres out. Now, we mentioned the importance of selling memberships at the moment, and also sponsors. Trent, you've been brought to us by Solbari, the UV protection, and certainly a good day for that. And the Saints have got some pretty important corporate support as well, Chris.
Absolutely, through AIA Australia, but they're proud sponsors of both St Kilda and North Melbourne and a few other clubs around the league, life, health and wellbeing partner of the Saints. And AIA are a leading life and health insurance specialist with over 47 years of experience. AIA have a proven commitment to the health and wellness of their customers, so both members of both sides will have benefits through AIA, so make sure you jump on board and get your health and life insurance sorted today.
Very nicely done. Now, speaking of AIA and health insurance and life insurance, Chip Frawley done for the day but not injured, where we saw James Frawley with the singlet on. Injury-wise, I think at this stage both clubs have got through unscathed. Young Bytel, a bit of a finger injury. There's a really nice strong tackle by Dan Butler on Dom Tyson. Ball comes out to young Lazaro. A bit of a don't argue. We like that to Zeeble. And Zeeble kicks a high and wobbly reverse torpedo that goes over the fence. And the Saints will take it at half back. Back to the injuries, and this is really important news for fans. At this stage, nothing major.
Absolutely, just the little finger issue for Jack Bytel is the only thing that's come from both sides, but he's come out, he's played a pretty strong game through the midfield. He's getting a lot of time at centre bounce, which is really promising for Saints fans. For the young guy, he's real strong upper body, so 189 centimetres, so he's got a very nice build for an inside mid. And then on the sidelines as well, we've got guys like Jade Gresham, not injured, just keeping fresh for next week. He'll feature against the Blues. And then we've obviously got guys like Rowan Marshall, Jaron Geary, who will be ready and available in the coming weeks.
There's Dan McKenzie winning a ball for the Saints. Didn't play a game last year, being tried as a tagger. Sinclair wins the footy now, and that's a beautiful little chip to Mason Wood, who's making himself handy, and he's going to line up for goal number 4.
Been a very strong presence marking inside the 50 as well. Has been able to float in between the arcs as well a little bit, just serving as a good hit-up target, very similar to how Josh Battle played a lot of his footy last year. So he's certainly pulled his kicking boots on today against his old side.
Trent, I might ask you to weigh in on Mason Wood. I mean, the talent is there for everyone to see. He just needs to put it together consistently.
Yeah, just a little bit of continuity. Mace's body at times failed him whilst he's at our club, and but yeah, clearly has the attributes to be a really, really solid AFL player, and a gun at that. So he's kicked another goal there. That's 4 for the day.
Yeah,
and it's really good to see him get another opportunity, because he's clearly good enough to play at this level, and he's a good mate of a lot of ours. So we're happy to see him get another shot at playing at the Saints.
Yeah, 4 bag is a perfect start, really, and still some time. We're only 5 minutes into the final term. St Kilda now 19-7. Good straight kicking, 121 to North Melbourne, 5-11-41. As I said, 6 minutes into the final term. The positives from a North Melbourne point of view, Trent, what have you liked? The scoreboard's a bit ugly, but there has been there's some things with the game plan we can certainly see, some attacking intent. What are a couple of things that make you smile?
Well, yeah, I think a few of the plays that we've been able to get through the corridor and work well, it shows what we're trying to do, and that it does work when we do it in the right way. Probably the biggest positive for mine, even though it's been a bad result, would just be the ability to play against some men. We've been playing against each other for a while.
Yep.
You don't know how you're going. We've obviously got a young team.
Yep. There's young Menadue getting involved.
Yeah.
I mean, he looks a league footballer.
Yeah,
Number 31 there. He certainly runs to the right spots, and there's a beautiful snap at goal that hits the woodwork. Jaden Stevenson looks like he's improved in some ways. I reckon his strength around the footy's been quite impressive.
Yeah, he's quite nippy around the footy, and his footwork's good, so he can get himself in and out of trouble pretty well. And Connor before, he's played AFL before, and he's got some toe about him, and he gives us some good drive. But yeah, back to my point before about playing against a team that I think are going to go really well this year in the Saints. It's a good lesson for a lot of our boys, and young, old, and as a team, we see where we need to get to and where we need to improve. So it's been a great lesson.
Yeah, it's good. And as you say, you're always going to improve from the first hit out. And they haven't turned up their toes. Mackay's a player that looks really ready to step up. Such a good athlete. As Big Campbell had a bit of a go at that, and it came through his hands, and the Saints look to just work it off half-back. Here's Seb Ross, who never really puts in a bad performance. A very consistent league footballer. Goes on the right foot and just chips it up towards Membry, who did his work really early then against Atley. Couldn't quite finish the job with the hands. He butters up again well, though, and just chips the little ball out into grass. Back to Ross. He can go underneath to Caulfield, and they just need to find some space here. This is a high one that Higgins has to... Oh, there's a big hang by King. I hope he hasn't hurt himself. He certainly had hands on the footy and just lost his shape in the air. And get about 6 trainers out to Max King, I would suggest. He's okay, Saints fans. Just... I reckon Rats has just about seen enough. Get the young fella off, but it was an impressive leap, and he had a bit of it too.
Certainly was. Hard in mouth type moment, but good to see Maxie's just jogged off the field now to the interchange gates. Just take a couple of minutes, and sure we'll see him back out there in no time.
The commentator excited, that's for sure. I was thinking highlights reel when Big Maxie launched like that. There's young Skinner involved for the Kangas, who's just trying to win a spot on the list. He's been okay. He's aggressive and shows a bit of strength there. Bobbles out a handball. Gee, that's a good attack by McKenzie. He is a bull at a gate. And Scott was equal to it. There's still a bit of fire in this game. Highmore for St Kilda kicks a nice clearing ball out in front of Loney. And now we've got a foot race. That's Appleby, the former Pie, also pushing for a spot on the list. Good pressure by him, and he makes life really hard for Loney, and he hasn't done himself a disservice there. Talk to me about Flynn Appleby, Trent.
Yeah, he's been awesome. He's come into the group, and... he fits in really well, and last week he had an awesome trial match. He's probably one of our best, and he played in twos side, I guess, and yeah, he did really well. Didn't lose a one-on-one, and what you just saw there on Jack Loney was one of his strengths.
Corralled him well, didn't he?
Yeah, he's unreal at tracking his opponent, so just super back pocket. And then obviously we've got Skins as well. They're fighting for a spot, so it's a bit of a weird situation, but he's going really well too and provides us another tall option up forward. Both ripping guys, and it's going to be sad to actually see one of them not get the spot. But
it's really, I must say, I'm rapt that this supplementary system is there. I mean, it gives guys an incentive to hang in there and keep fit. And if you're really, really hungry and you put in the yakka, I mean, I don't know, they'd be getting base pay, these guys, to train. And there's certainly, everyone thinks league footballers do it easy. When you're fighting for a spot on the list, it's anything but. And I think we'll see some really good Cinderella stories come out of this. Guys are on the scrap heap, dug in for 6 weeks and won a spot. And certainly, I reckon if you're on the fringes and it hasn't quite worked out, there's every incentive to stay in the top flight comps. Keep playing in the SANFL or the VFL. Yeah,
if you can keep your standard at a high level for long enough, you're bound to get your opportunity. And I guess probably the golden example of that is Kane Lambert. He worked hard in the VFL for a long time. I remember playing against him when I was out at Ballarat for the VFL, and thought, geez, this guy's good. I don't know why hasn't got an opportunity, and he gets it, and he probably takes it with a bit more gratitude than maybe the next bloke, and makes it work. So yeah, it's great to see, and clubs are doing it more than ever now. They're looking for players out of the twos competitions, the state league comps, and it's great that they get the opportunity and get a chance.
Yeah, indeed, as we see Dan Butler pop one through, who, tell you what, is he making an impact as a St Kilda player. And St Kilda move now to 127. That's becoming a bit of a cricket score. North Melbourne 5-12-42, 11 minutes final term. It's a great point, Trent, and some really nice stories will pop up for these guys that just don't give it away, and there's a lot of courage in that. Butler's his football's gone to another level. He was always a handy Richmond player, but the impact he's having consistently now is astonishing.
Certainly has. He just electrified everyone when he came in. We got him at pick number 56, and then to have the impact he had, leading goal kicker last year, runner-up at the Trevor Barker Award, just formed a really dangerous partnership up forward, having guys like him and Loney, and now Jack Higgins at the feet of guys like King and Membry. It's a very exciting prospect for Saints fans. But yeah, nice little bit of forward pressure down there as well. The smalls combining nicely, and Butler capping off with his first for the day. And
Max King is back on the ground. Sorry, mad Saints supporters, if I scared you there. He did fly up for what would have been the mark of the day and just lost it in flight and came down heavily on his ribs. But he is okay. He's back out there at centre-half forward, trotting around with Ben Mackay as his direct opponent. So we certainly don't want any injuries in the last 10 or 15 minutes of this stanza. But it's been a good game of footy to watch. Perfect conditions help, and great facilities here at Arden Street, and a little bit for both teams to work on as Menadue grabs it for the Kangas and drives it forward, but it's nicely cut off by Hunter Clark. And this time the Saints want to get it up the middle, which is nice to see. Up the guts, Brad Hill through to Butler, who's held up by Stevenson. And both teams are keen to get the footy out in the open a bit now and enjoy it a bit. Mackenzie, who's being used a bit as a defensive tagger, he's certainly got a tank. That was Big Hunter who stuck the hands up there, the former Crows player who's taken a turn in the ruck. Here's a Lazaro, who's had his moments, can use Kyron Hayden. And now Skinner, whose kick is all right, can Turner grab it, he can. And Kane Turner will line up from 20 metres out pretty well directly in front. There's a nice passage of play.
Yeah, all started from a great bit of defensive work. Luke McDonald pressing off his man to come forward and spoil Hunter, and then from there we were able to work the ball back through. And it's a really dangerous spot to turn the ball over at half-back. Opposition, if you're turning it over there, opposition usually able to work it through. So it was well done by Lukey.
So Kane Turner, who all of a sudden's played about 80 games, it feels like he played from when he was about 15, it seems like, and he was that tiny when he got his first go. He's made a meal of that and pushed it to the right. So come on, Kane, you've let me down. But clocking up a nice career, he virtually walked in as a schoolboy and started playing senior footy.
He literally did, yeah. He was going to Maribyrnong High.
Marby, yeah.
Going to Marby, and yeah, he just plays that small forward role so well, like pressure. I remember at the time Scotty loved his forward pressure, and he did it well. And he was a bit of a wrecking ball when he came in early. I think he knocked out Phil Davis, knocked out Dangerfield. He's just not much of him, but he hits hard. And yeah, I don't know. You can't see it on the vision now, but he's sliding back hard to help the defence out, release our winger back. So, yeah, he just works all day, and now he's in our back line. He's about to get this ball.
There he is. A bit of height on it, and that's nicely spoiled.
Kick didn't help him
Nah,
out.
it did. It was a bit of a moon ball, that one. You don't want to sit under them, and it was nicely spoiled by Jack Billings. King over there getting on the end of a nice ball at half forward, so he's moving fine. Certainly no issues. He will start hanging on to those marks at some stage and be genuinely frightening if he's not already. As the Kangas just get one on the boot. That's old-fashioned footy, just cleared out of the danger zone. Webster's there, who's been nice and physical throughout the day. Back to Caulfield and now Hill. And Hill can go into Benny Long. And there's a bit of ringa-ringa-rosa here, just waxing with the footy. Sinclair with the Billy Ray Cyrus hair, drives a long one deep forward. He's got a couple of big boys there, and there's one of them. There's the biggest of them all. Big Max King's taking a strong contested mark, and he'll line up from 35 metres, or even 30 metres, pretty well directly in front. So, King likely to extend the margin. He has hit the scoreboard at least once. He's kicked the 1, and now he's got the 2, I reckon. He's done that nicely. That's shelling peas for a key forward. And Big Max King gets his 2nd, and the Saints get their 21st. Nice signs for him. Key forward-wise, Trent, Larky Zerha, is that what Kangas fans can expect?
Yeah.
Where most of your goals will come from?
Yeah, Larky Zerha, obviously got Steve up there. We're a bit more dynamic than we have been in the past, so we're hoping if we can bring that ball through the middle, we'll be able to get some space out the back, and that's leg speed will be able to come into it quite well. You see Bailey Scott's up forward at the moment. He'll be playing up there a little bit. Larks has had to play ruck a bit more than we would like today.
Taking a turn in the ruck, yeah.
Obviously with Goldie out, so yeah, we'd like to have him up forward a lot more. But yeah, those two will be the main guys pretty much.
There is Highmore doing what Highmore was drafted for. He pops over and intercepts a nice mark there on the chest. Now, Benny Long's been sold into a bit of trouble, but he was good enough to get out of it and can use Hill. And now Billings on the outer side, and he's got Crouch pushing, and the Saints get out of that well. That was a nice, brave chest mark by Tom Highmore. They reckon he's just ready to go. Good average for marks taken in the Sandful. Good men's footy, that is. And the Saints have found another mature age player. Here's McKenzie. Dan McKenzie, who couldn't get a crack at it last year, but he certainly lacks nothing in bravery. And now Dunstan, who had the torn pec last year, and he's dead set kicked that off his shin, but it works to Mason Wood. Wood would be firming for round 1 after today's performance. So would this man. Higgins has been really good, and he kicks a high drop punt, really high. Big fly by Membry, couldn't quite take it. The Roos defenders just need to be calm now. Simpkins' ball close to the line does enough to get a stoppage, and we'll have a throw-in 40 round from the Saints goal. Got the big mayor of Portland back in too by popular demand, Roe Marshall. What have you been doing, mate? Having a spell in the coach's box? Where have you been?
No, I've just been sitting on the hill over there in the shade with the other boys, so yeah, it's been good. Lots
to like from a Saints point of view?
Yeah, it has been really good. I think our new recruits have gone really well. Yeah, Mason's had a really good day. Josh Battle's been playing well. Higgins has popped up, so I think our ball movement's been probably the big positive. Probably still got a few areas to work on. I think North have gone coast to coast on us a few times, so yeah, it's probably something we've got to work on.
So Max King with the footy again. Can he make it number 3? That's a pretty nice connection, and it's just going to work its way into the woodwork. There's nothing wrong with his kicking action, I'll tell you what. It's easy to get the radar right. A minor score, St Kilda 21-9, leading North Melbourne 5-13-43 to St Kilda 29-134. Doing it easily as we just play out time now, but still plenty to keep us interested with these new players in both jumpers. There's a swinging ball back by Loney. Zeeble has looked good down there for the Kangas. Can use McDonald, who takes on a tackle. He's calm with the footy. Can use Core, and then Core a bit of fancy footwork, and then he swings one back to Mackay, and now Mackay to Hall, and that was nice play, Trent. That's a good way to run it out of defence.
Yeah, we probably sold ourselves into a little bit too much pressure there, but the boys have done well to get out of it.
Yeah, Hill can use Caulfield, and now Wilkie. And Wilkie's little chipping ball's fine to Billings. So the Saints are using a bit of yardage here at Arden Street. Probably just time to get out there and open the lungs and get your hands on the leather. Higgins, another one. He's been impressive. I think he'll be a round one starter in today's performance. We've all seen the talent. That is a high moon ball. Sit under that, says Higgins. It was a pretty good contest by Wooden. Now it's crumb by Billings, and Billings sends the Saints back inside 50. Wonderful courage by Curtis Taylor, who I hope's got out of that okay. He has. He back where Angels fear to tread, and he's all right. Tough hombre, and he loves launching, doesn't he?
Oh, he can launch, yeah. That's got to be the worst feeling in the world when you lose your legs. They bloody take your legs out when you're up high in the sky. Not that I ever get up there, but yeah, Curtis has had that a few times, and back comes into a bit of danger zone there.
He set up a nice attacking thrust here for the Roos. There's Menadue with a little chip that was perfect. That's why you've got Connor Menadue. That's why Scotty Clayton would have got him. That elite kicking ability, and he's found Stevenson, and Stevenson can line up from 45 directly in front.
Yeah, he can take pretty much anyone on and turn on a dime, and he's got a great kick as well, so we'll see more of that in the future for sure.
Yeah, he looks like he's bulked up a little bit through the hips. He looks like a league footballer. He always looked like a kid when he got the games at Richmond, but a talented one. I reckon you've got a good one there. Menadue, he certainly looks ready to play at this level. As Stevenson comes in, and he normally kicks well, and he's given that every chance and kicked a goal, I reckon. So he hits the scoreboard again. He's had a nice debut in official Kangaroos colours.
Yeah, no, he's going well. He's going well, and he'll love when we're moving the ball like that because he can find space quite easily. So, yeah, no, it's great for him.
The Kangas get out to 6:13.49. St Kilda 21-8, 134, and we're 22 minutes into the final term.
Well, we've got a short little break in players. The players reset for the centre bounce row. The questions on Twitter for you have been coming in thick and fast.
Oh, yes, big row.
First one from Des. Rowan, you seem to smile at everything. Is there anything you don't like?
I don't know. That's a tough question.
Don't lose that, big boy. That's all right. We like that.
Yeah, nothing at all. Nothing
like
nothing's on to gears.
Nothing. No, I like everything.
Another question. This one from Nick. How are Jimmy and Luke travelling after some time out of the side? We know they've come off some pretty extensive injury layoffs, but good to see them back out again today.
Yeah, they're going really well. Jimmy's had a bit of trouble with his back last year, but he's at his best. He's one of our better defenders in the team, so he's going really well. And Luke obviously had the pec issue last year, but he's had a pretty good pre-season as well, and he's tracking pretty well.
Yeah, Highmore, another fantastic contested mark. I reckon he might have popped a finger here, Saints fans. I don't think it's anything too serious. I'll just keep an eye on this as he shows it to the medico. Yeah, a finger for sure, but that's why you got him, Ro. He's a good, brave player in the air. That's a second cut-off mark he's taken, and they're not easy to take.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a great player. Great intercept defender. He locks on when he needs to, and then can just pop off and real courageous as well. So he's been a great addition.
The Saints get it out of the danger zone. A couple more questions for the big boy.
No, they're coming through thick and fast. I'm trying to keep up with the man. This one's from Dr. Foot. Have you prepared your speech for the Brownlow yet? Very interesting, right? Had a nice little polling last year.
No, I think Steely might better do that because hopefully he's up there again next year. So finished third last year, Steely, and he'll be right up there again this year.
How's his campaign been going? Obviously got handed the co-captaincy this year, but do you reckon he can take another step forward, Ro, off his sensational year last year? Yeah,
definitely. We saw the heights he reached last year, and I think he can go to another level again. So his leadership's one thing that really stood out last year, and obviously been rewarded as the captain this year. So all the boys are right behind him, and he'll be a great skipper.
Absolutely. And can you talk a little bit about the leadership group? Got a couple of new additions in there. obviously Tim Embry and Dougal Howard taking up the vice captaincy alongside Gears and Steely, who will be leading the helm. But then you've got guys like Cal Wilkie as well joining the crew, and then Jack Billings and Seb Ross as well. It's a pretty strong contingent.
Yeah, definitely. The new boys that have come in, Dougal Howard and Callum Wilkie, they're great guys to have at the club. And, Callum Wilkie's mature age recruit, and, he's fitted in seamlessly. And Dougal Howard's really honest and a really sort of tough and brave leader back there in the back line. So, great to have them in.
St Kilda, as Dan Butler popped another one through, 22-8-140, North Melbourne 6-13-49, 25 minutes into the final term, not long now. Quick one from me, Ro, what are you doing away from footy? Got any courses or trades on the go?
So before I got picked up, I was at uni in Ballarat, so studying a double degree in sport management and business. So, I'll just tick that off, and hopefully when I finish footy, I'll ideally walk into a job in that sort of area. But, it's going well.
There's a big king flying up for one, but a good intercept mark by Joshy Walker. In fact, it was Ben Mackay. So a bit of a Simon Lethlean kind of role. Is that what you're after, big boy?
I'm not too sure yet. I'll wait and see what opens up. But,
You've got lots of good footy in front of you. That does us here at Arden Street. A convincing win to the Saints, 22-8-140 to 6-13-49.